Be sure to visit our website at smarthealthtalk.com. Welcome back to Smart Health Talk with your host, Elaine McFadden.
Welcome back. Well, I have to admit that I am hoping to convince all of you to set a goal to substitute one meat meal for a vegetarian one at least once per week. Eating vegetables is always a win-win for getting the most nutritional bang for our bucks. And remember that plain vegetables are always free foods. Research shows that those that eat the most vegetables and the less red meat live longer and healthier lives. Many of us grew up eating meat at practically every meal and therefore don't know much about how to prepare great-tasting meals without meat. We probably have a vision of vegetarian eating as bland-tasting food that involves ingredients like sprouts and such. But guess what, listeners? Vegetarian eating has now gone gourmet. The food is so good you don't even miss the meat. I attended an Emmy event this weekend, and I got a chance to try some food from the Veggie Grill Restaurant and was impressed with flavor beyond belief. When I found out the rich dessert that they served contained no animal products, I was amazed. So for those of us that are still learning how to make vegetarian meals taste great, I want to let you know that there are some incredible chefs over at the Veggie Grill that know exactly how to make vegetarian and vegan food that is guaranteed to please even an avid carnivore. So we have TK Pillan. Pillan. I practiced that a bunch of times too. I'm so mad at myself. Okay, we have TK Pillan, who's one of the co-founders of the Veggie Grill, to try and explain to us how they do it. So how do you make that food taste so good, TK?
Hi, Elaine. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to Smart Health Talk.
Oh, thank you. Well, thanks for such a great introduction. And our whole mission is to show people how delicious vegetarian food can be. And so how we do it, which was your question, which is to really focus on marinades and sauces and provide great flavors to the veggie proteins. And when we do that, people are shocked at how satisfying and hearty and flavorful the food can be. We have a Santa Fe crispy chicken that people swear is chicken.
It just tastes that good, huh? It tastes like the real thing.
It does. We have to settle bets at the restaurant all the time because people parties of two. One person thinks it's chicken, the other knows that it's not, and then they bet, and we have to settle it for them.
Oh yeah, that sounds like fun. We got to bring someone in and try to order for them and see if they can even notice it. I know that they've done studies and actually put things like substituted kale, which is like a lot more full of nutrients than just plain lettuce, on a hamburger with kids, and they didn't even notice the difference. They were like, all it tastes is more green. So mothers out there, you can like just slip some kale on the burger there with your kids and get some more good green nutrients in there. Yeah. So I believe a lot of people know that what they're eating is not the best health choice. And therefore, they don't get the kind of pleasure out of a meal they should. They just kind of like put it in their mouth and swallow it. They're not like really savoring all the delicious flavors that are intermixed there. So how does your restaurant change that?
Our whole goal is to first and foremost, the food has to taste great because people eat to enjoy, or most people do, and without delicious food, you're usually fighting a losing battle when you try and eat wholesome. So what we do is we take food that's 100% plant-based, so we know that it has no cholesterol, no animal fat, and no trans fat, but then we focus on adding flavors with marinades, like our barbecue sauce and our buffalo sauce, and we marinate our veggie proteins overnight, and so we really give people flavors that they're used to, with the veggie proteins, which other people call them meat analogs, and they really take on the texture of meat and the flavor of meat, and so they give you what you're used to, your traditional burgers, and but you get it without any cholesterol or animal fat or trans fat, so you can feel good about it.
Well, I know that those are all like the kind of things that your doctor would tell you, you really shouldn't be eating these kind of things, or maybe you've heard it like on the news. But like, I know that there are like other things we should be avoiding too, and your restaurant is like committed to keeping like, this group of kind of like the worst foods that we shouldn't be eating off your menu completely. That is amazing. And it takes like all the guesswork out of choosing things on the menu, which can be really hard for people because they don't necessarily know all the ingredients. So why don't you go over those things that people don't even have to worry about when they come to your restaurant? They're not going to be eating any food.
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, our goal is to give you delicious food that you can feel good about and not worry about. And so for that reason, our food is 100% plant-based with no cholesterol, no animal fat, no trans fat. In addition, we don't use any high fructose corn syrup, and because our food is 100% plant-based, it means there's no dairy, no butter, no eggs. So we're all about good calories. Calories are important. They give you energy, they give you nutrients, but the wrong calories slow you down. Your body doesn't know how to process them. And so if you have good calories, you can really enjoy them. They satisfy you. They fill you up, but you don't have to worry about them. And that's what we serve at the Veggie Grill, delicious, good calories. Well,
I am just still, there's just like, it's really hard to make me believe that carrot cake that I ate at that Emmy event did not have any animal products in it. Because that frosting was just like, it tasted like a buttercream frosting. That's just so amazing to me how you were able to pull that off, and there's like no eggs in the cake.
That's correct. And you're not the first who can't believe that it is vegan, and it takes a lot of work. It's easy to use eggs and use butter to add the creaminess to your desserts, but we use soy cream cheese frosting. We actually bake. We use pineapples to add some of the moistness to the cake. We use a little tofu to add moistness. So we use alternative sources of creaminess and texture to give you that same decadence, but without the bad stuff that comes with the butter and the eggs, which includes cholesterol and animal fat.
So you guys are located all over Southern California, and we're going to be sure and have all that information on our website so you can find all the different locations that they have. And I only have a little bit of time left, and I wanted to be sure and let people know that you guys have a big event coming up October 3rd. It's going to be promoting Meatless Mondays, and people are going to be able to visit your restaurants, and the kids will be able to eat for free. You got like a special meal that you're going to be offering the kids. That, of course, is a meatless meal. And what I'd like to do is I'd like for you to come back next week, and we'll remind everyone about the event coming up, and then maybe you could kind of walk us through cooking quinoa, which I know a lot of people are interested in. It's an ancient grain, has a lot of protein in it, but a lot of us don't know how to cook it. Do you think maybe you could help us with that?
Sure. Well, what I'm going to do is have my partner, who's our chief foodie, Ray White, who's been cooking with these vegetarian specialties for about 15 years. Have him come on and give you the details, because he really is an expert in how to prepare delicious vegetarian food.
Well, I know it was in the salad along with all kinds of other ingredients, which I think is another good thing, because people eating a wide variety of foods, you're always going to get a lot of benefits. Okay, TK, I want to thank you so much for explaining all those things to us today, and we'll see you next week.
Or
hear from you next week.
My pleasure, Elaine. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Take a walk on the wild side. Will the birds and the bees survive? Right before me, my newfound hippie side. Once ignored these conspiracies online. Out the window, visions of the earth. Sign me up now, make sure you use your smart. Take a walk on the wild side. Will the birds and the bees survive? Would your children lie to see Mother Nature's side?